And living color, too.
All right, you guys are good.
Where do I put my hands?
Hey, what is up? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Before the Lights. It is the Valley High School football show happening every Wednesday on Area 956. His name is Jake Berry. Say hello, Jake.
How are you?
My name is Tony Fortina. Thank you for joining us. And we're going to be taking your questions as the show goes on. We know that Area 956 has like 10 bazillion followers. So if you want to ask us a question, please feel free to do so. We're going to try to get to it as much as we can, but we're going to do a half-hour show. It's going to be a quick one. We're going to highlight a couple of games. We're going to talk about some different things that are going on in the sports world, but somebody is probably thinking, who let these two guys on, and what are they doing? So give me a little bit of your background there, Jake Berry.
I started 956 Stores back in the day. Actually, it was originally RGV Sports Network. We've done everything. You and I have done, two radio shows?
Multiple radio shows, multiple TV shows already. I have that one lingering question, which was, why was I banned on the forums? I don't understand why. I mean, I thought you and I were...
I think it was a long time ago. You picked Roma to be the top dog in their district.
Foresight, man. Foresight. I picked Roma 5 years before they became good.
Yeah, and that, by the way, that was about 15 years ago. But that might have been a contributing factor, but that was actually before me. I didn't ban people.
That's how serious I am to my craft. When I said that Roma would win their district,
and you knew.
I meant it, and I don't think Roma won a game in district or the regular season, but that's all right because this is a brand new show. This is a brand new era. We are live at the UFC gym off of McCall, just south of Milana in McAllen. And Jake, you have a little knowledge about UFC gym, right?
Yeah, as you can tell from my body, I am one of those people that just screams UFC. But no, a lot of people think that UFC is just a place where you go if you want to fight. Actually, it's everything. It's got classes in jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, spinning, my personal favorite, booty fit. And so you can pretty much do everything here that you can in a normal gym. It's just bigger and better.
That is very cool. That is very cool. So in the background, you're going to see some of the gym as it's happening. We may have the occasional person working out. Don't think it's one of us. This was not recorded earlier. It's actually somebody that's physically fit and working on their figure. What we're here to do is talk about Valley High School football. And Jake, last year was a pretty great year. Mission Vets was our last team standing. Landry Gilpin garnering all sorts of state awards. Who is going to be our last team standing this year?
I think if you're looking at it right now, Vela looks really good.
Right.
They reload every year, and they just look like one of the better teams. Some of the teams we'll talk about tonight are maybe Harlingen, Pioneer. Harlingen didn't have the year that they wanted last year, but it's still Harlingen. And they also are able to reload with a lot of talent. San Benito, Los Fresnos, they all play really well. Hannah had a great year last year. We'll see what happens this year. They have their quarterback coming back, but there's a lot of vacancies with that team, and they're filling holes. But there's a lot of great teams. If you look at it, Vela is one of those teams that you look at as the top dog.
As you can tell by the way we're discussing, we're covering the entire Rio Grande Valley. We do not have a personal favorite. Do you have a personal favorite Valley High School football team?
I don't. I'm actually not from the Valley.
Right.
I did coach at Edinburgh High School, but I don't work there anymore. I work in McAllen, so I really don't have a personal favorite. I appreciate football teams from Roma to Brownsville and everything in between.
And I appreciate the hard work that these coaches put in. I appreciate the hard work that these players put in. Heck, just being able to see all these different athletes, and you'll see the rise and fall of athletes throughout the year. And unfortunately, the injury bug is going to bite somebody along the way. But I'll tell you what, the key thing to remember is that they're just kids. They're just kids. So as much as we talk about them, we're not going to break down every passing scheme or something like that. But I think as a dad, and I think you've got high school age kids as well, we've got to remember that they're just kids and this is entertainment. Some of these kids will advance to D3, D2, maybe D1. Some of these kids are just playing the glory years right now.
Yeah, and look, a lot of people are going to be singular focused. You like Mercedes, you like Edcal Chelsea, Westlaco, McAllen,
maybe your name is Tiger Crazy, and you don't know.
Who knows? But it doesn't matter. We don't just focus on one team, and we're not. If we neglect your team, it's not because we don't like them. It just depends on the coach. No, I'm just kidding. But when it comes down to it, we're trying to cover the entire valley. So some weeks we just may not cover your team as much as you'd like.
Right. So let's get to covering teams. We looked at a plethora of schedules, some big notable games. Mission High, Mission Veterans Memorial, coming out the gate with that one straight there. Brownsville-Hanna taking on McAllen Memorial. Brownsville-Hanna was pretty successful last year. McAllen Memorial, not one of those teams that, they're ever empty. They always just kind of reload as well. We also looked at Sherryland Pioneer playing host to Harlingen High, a 6A, 5A matchup where you're just kind of thinking, why would they want to do that? What other games did we look at that we were going to break down?
Harlingen versus Pioneer.
And then,
I don't know. I'm not sure if you covered that one.
We talked about Harlingen Pioneer, and then the other game was Westlake and Rowe High School. That was the fourth of the big four that we looked at. The one that we're going to break down for you is Harlingen High, Sherryland Pioneer. Most 6A teams do not want to play a 5A team because you don't want to have that blemish on your record. That's like in NCAA athletics. Who was it that beat Michigan a few years back?
Appalachian State.
When Appalachian State travels into Michigan and they're supposed to get steamrolled, and lo and behold, they come out with a victory. Sherryland Pioneer is at a point right now. The school is 6 years old, and they're at that point where now they've had their first crop of full varsity. Their middle school players are coming up. They've got a 6'4" wide receiver with Levon Lindo. They've got a great quarterback in Eddie Lee Marburger. They've got a great defense that's going to be anchored by Mr. Ryan Boltheis. You look at all these different factors and you think to yourself, why would Manny Gomez and his team want to go in and play Sherryland Pioneer at Dickie Thompson Stadium? Can you answer that question for me?
Well, I think you want to get those tests early, especially with Harlingen and their district being as tough as it is with San Benito and Los Fresnos. And the other teams, Harlingen South also, you want to get tested early so that you're ready for district, because there's no easy games in district, and you really have to come with your A game. And last year, Harlingen did. Pioneer went over there with Jacob Rosales and Eddie Lee Marburger behind center, and they just couldn't get it going against Harlingen. Harlingen jumped on them quickly. This year, I think it's going to be a little bit different. You look at Eddie Lee Marburger, it's his team. He had that one game against Harlingen last year that was an eye-awakener for him. And you have to imagine, when he gets into this role on Friday night,
right,
the lights are going to be bright, but he's well adjusted. And you've got LeVar Lingo, who is 6'4". I actually picked him for the All-Star Showcase at the Bernardin Arena. The kid has Division I body. He's going Division I.
6'4", I think it was 215 that I saw.
Yeah.
So he's your lanky muscle guy.
Yeah.
That might be on the low end at 215.
And down here, you're talking about just throw the ball up,
right,
and let him make a play. And he's big. He's very coordinated. And I do have some knowledge of this team because my good friend Eddie Galindo is the offensive coordinator there, and he runs probably the fastest no huddle offense there is. They're up to the line, calling the next play right away, and it's impressive. Them, Sherryland, Vella's pretty good at it. They get to the line quickly. So Harlingen is going to have to be conditioned to really play well in this game.
Well, we'll see if the Cardinals are able to keep up with the Diamondbacks of Sherryland Pioneer.
Oh, I will say this about Harlingen.
Tell me,
one of their running back has probably the best name in the valley.
What's his name?
Raiden Berry, no relations.
No,
not as I know. But it's just an extremely good running back behind the QB, and their QB, there's no slouch either. This is going to be one of those things too. Pioneer's going to have to bring both sides of their game also. It's not going to be just an offensive game for them. It's going to be both sides. And Manny Gomez is really good.
But this is the year that Sherryland Pioneers should be clicking on all cylinders now. That first year when they're playing the varsity schedule, you're going to get hammered because you're starting a bunch of freshmen. Your second year, you may pick up a win, maybe two, but you're still not experienced. Yeah. We're at year 6 now for Pioneer, I believe, and this is the point of the Pioneer run where it's going to get good. Coach Tom Lee, he's very well known in that Mission area, and he's going to have the Sherryland Diamondbacks ready to go and hustling. But Manny Gomez on the other side of the ball, which, by the way, Manny Cuchara in the house. Remember they gave you that nickname because we like to stir things up. He's got a great defense. That team takes on the mindset of their coach. And Manny is a very intense gentleman when he's on the field, when he's in between the lines. He's the most intense guy I know. That defense that he brings every time, the offense, he really separates himself from the offense because he was a defensive guy. And he let somebody else control the offense. And he's had such great players there the last couple of years that it's one of those things where Harlingen they don't break down. They just reload and they keep going. And that's the situation where they're in this year.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, because I don't want to forget, I do have my football Bible, the 956 football magazine. I have no role in this magazine this year.
Good.
Jaime Galvan, their quarterback, sensational numbers. And I just want to throw these numbers out to you. 1,690 yards passing last year, 16 TDs, and 491 yards on the ground. Those are some big numbers.
Yeah.
And so Manny doesn't have any slouches on this team. You know, he's got a great defense. Last year they had some really good special team moments against Pioneer. We'll see what happens this year.
Is this a trap game for Manny and for the Cardinals? I mean, it's week one, and you're probably thinking to yourself, everything's going to be fine. We did this number to these guys last year, but that was at your house. Now you're traveling to Area9. You're going to be playing in Mission at Dickie Thompson Stadium. Is this going to be one of those games where they just may come in, I guess, under expecting Area9 Pioneer? And is Pioneer able to catch them in that? Are they able to say, you're here at our house, we're playing the big time, and this is what it is for us?
Well, I think any young man going into this game is going to look at last year and say, well, I think we won last year and we really stretched the lead out against Pioneer. This should be our game. But I don't think Manny Gomez will allow that. And that's one thing. Manny Gomez and Coach Tom Lee also, they're not going to let their kids fall into that trap. And they're going to have them both ready to play week one because, for both of them, they're entering district, well, especially for Pioneer, you're entering district right away. And, there's a lot of teams in 5A that they're going to have to beat. And, I think that they're ready. And I think both teams will come out swinging on Friday night.
And anybody who keeps up with Area9 Pioneer, you're going to remember over the summer what happened at 7-on-7. And you know how emotional this team is. And you know how that can lead to particular mistakes. I don't think that they've forgotten it because I think that'd be bad for them to forget what happened at 7-on-7. But why don't you refresh everybody and let everybody...
Yeah, they were 3-0 coming out of pool play, and they wound up getting into a fight, and you get DQ'd from there. But those are learning moments, too, for this team.
Right. And that's my phone going off. That's a $5 fine for me. I got it. We're good.
All right. Sorry, he's got the watch. But no, what you see is with Pioneer is those are learning moments. You got to control your emotions, and nothing teaches a team better than that. Because when your weekend is cut short because of that, you're going to get better for it. Hopefully you're going to grow from that moment.
So we're hoping that they use that as a growing moment in which they realize they've got to keep control of their emotions and understand that. Listen. We are just playing a game. It's 11 of our best to take it on 11 of their best for, the series of plays, and then we'll flip out and we'll do some other 11-11. So that's what they need to remember. But is this a game that you feel confident you can say, I think this team is going to win, and this is why?
Normally I would say Pioneer will win this game. But last year, Harlingen's defense really took control. And so if they have the kind of game they had last year against Marburger and company, I really think it's going to be hard for them to get going. Now, I will say this. If Eddie Lee Marburger comes out firing, gets the defense, spinning around, having to find their men, I think that Pioneer will win this game. But I really think early in the season, and you know this as well as I do, defenses usually control the games in the beginning of the season. So it'll be interesting to see what Pioneer brings, but I'm going to give the advantage to Harlingen. I know my good friend Eddie Galindo is probably going to say something to me about this, but I'm going to take Harlingen in this one.
You can read it in the comments right here on Area 956. He's Jake Berry. I'm Tony Fornino. We are live at UFC Gym. We're going to be doing this on Wednesday nights, in which we're going to talk about the Valley High School football schedule, the upcoming schedule. And why Wednesdays? Well, nowadays, action starts on Thursday. You'll have some on Friday. You'll have the occasional on Saturday matchup. We're going to do our best to watch as many of those games as we can and break them down for you as well as we can right here. We'll occasionally bring in a coach. We didn't want to do so today because this is the launch. This is the episode that we just want you to see us, to meet us, to get comfortable with us. I think we're all comfortable with each other. And this is the opportunity that we want to break down and show the different aspects of these games that we're going to be talking about. Other notable games that we talk about: Mission High, Mission Vets. Mission Vets loses Landry Gilpin. Mission High starting their third season with Ty Detmer at the helm.
Yes.
How is that going to impact the game?
Well, it's going to rest a lot on Tito's.
Tito's?
Yeah. And let me just pull up. By the way, if you haven't seen this,
This is a gratuitous free plug.
Yeah, it's
for the 956 football
now. But if you haven't seen this thing, it's full of good content. But I just want to bring this out to you because there's some good numbers here. All right, Jeremy Dudon, their quarterback from last year, is only a sophomore. He's coming back. He's in last year. He threw for 1,465 yards, 14 TDs as a freshman, and that's big. But he was able to do that because Coy Detmer, NFL quarterback, threw the ball all over the field for Mission.
Yep.
He runs the ball with this team. He has a very good running game with this team. He's got Tito Monta, 1,135 yards rushing, 9 TDs. Fullback, Andrew Maldonado rushed for 332 with 7 TDs. So, I mean, you think about that. A guy that, a professional NFL quarterback, knows that running the ball is going to actually help his team win games, and they run the ball well. And so it'll be interesting. Gilpin's coming back with, with a new signal caller, and
right.
that's the hard part. When you're trying to fill that void of Landry Gilpin, that's a tough one.
And let's remember that when Dave Gilpin first had the opportunity to start Landry Gilpin as a freshman, he said, no, I respect my senior quarterback, and I'm going to let him finish the career out. And I don't believe that Landry officially took over till midway through his sophomore year, if I remember correctly.
Due to injury as well.
Due to another injury. So they've had great success. Landry is now playing at
Southwest, or Southwest was at the one in Austin, right north of Georgetown.
I believe right there in Georgetown. So that's one of the key games. Another one is Wesco High School taking on Nicky Rowe Warriors. Now the Panthers, they've had a little switch up over the summer. Michael Salinas takes off. Patrick Shelby becomes the head coach at Mac High. The offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator is now elevated to head coach, right?
Yeah. And so Coach Stroman, originally from Hebronville, is a longtime Tony B guy. I say that because I have some friends from Hebronville.
Well, we know a couple of people from Hebronville.
But good people.
Yes, very good.
But Wesco is coming back. You got to think about it. It's 3 coaches in what?
4 years.
Yeah,
5 years.
So 3 years actually.
3 years.
Wow, Mike Salinas was only there 2 years. So 3 coaches. Will he run the same offense Michael Salinas did? Because Michael was able to turn the corner in 1 year. And in the second year for Michael Salinas, he was able to come in. They went 11-2 last year. They had a great year, going second in district to Avella. And I really like what they created last year. So we'll see what the drop off is for Wesco. But if you look at Nicky Rowe comes in with probably one of the more seasoned quarterbacks in Northeast. He's coming back.
Ortiz.
Yeah, he's going to have to fill the void on the receiver spots. They're a little light there. Their defense is good also. What we saw last year was that Wesco came out and jumped all over them early because nobody knew what to expect from Wesco. I think everybody knows what to expect from both Cavazos. Is that a word? Cavazos? But both Cavazos, they're going to know what to expect. And I think when you look at Nicky Rowe, they've got to come out and jump on Wesco right away. Wesco got them last year. This is going to be one of those games where Wesco is the favorite.
And what does this do for Nicky Rowe? Should they manage to pull off the victory? This is a big game. This could start the emotional wave that they need in order to find some serious success.
Yeah, and you have to remember last year they lost this game and then they went on a little bit of a run and then didn't do too well at the end of district.
Right.
They need this game, I think, just because it would help elevate them a little bit further on. If you're beating a Wesco, that means that you can beat a Mission. That means that you can beat a McAllen Memorial. You can beat the other teams like PSJ North. We didn't really talk about.
Right.
We'll talk about later in the year. PSJ North has a great team, a lot of returners.
All right, so there you go. That's just a couple of games that we are looking at covering throughout this entire season. We invite you to join us every Wednesday night. It's Area 956. That's where you want to log on and check us out. We're going to be live. You can always tweet at us. He's at 956Jake. I'm at 95649. You can drop us a tweet. Let us know what you think. You can always swing by UFC Gym. They're open from what time to what time?
They're open from normally 8 to 11 every day. No, excuse me, 5 o'clock to 11.
5 a.m. to 11 p.m. every night. So you want to come on down and get your workout on. It's a great place.
Right now they actually have come in, you get a week free. Come out and work it, try it out. It's a great workout. I actually did boxing. You can't tell, but I did boxing last night. But it's the biggest place here. It's in the valley, and you come here, you're not going to be, at least for guys like us,
right? We're
not going to be like, looking for machines here.
As I'm doing the side profile showing all of my right there. But we have the octagon in the back. We've got the bags that are hanging down low that you can run. If you need to get your heart rate going, you need to elevate, you need to run some stairs. We got the stairs here. We do have the machines. We've got the mat. It's all available for you at UFC Gym. They're just south of Nolana on McCall here in McAllen. You can do that. And of course, the upcoming football season. What's the team that you are looking at, that you get excited to say, that's going to be a special team that I want to watch every now and then?
Here's the thing. Bill Littleton at McAllen Memorial. If you look, every time he's had a really good running back, quarterback combo. Yeah. In their fourth year, Campbell Space's fourth year, Marcus Kaufman, I can't think of his name, Matthew Kaufman, when they became, Bradley Stevens, when they became seniors, 4 years into it, they were able to take their team to the Sweet 16. I hope, and I want to see this, I'd love to see Campbell Space help elevate McAllen Memorial to the Sweet 16, just like other great McAllen Memorial players have done. And I think that's one of those things. I like it. He signed with Navy. I think that's a big deal for me. I love the service academies. Great kid, great family. I really like to see them do well this year.
All right, so you're looking out for McAllen Memorial. I'm going to sound like the homer that I am, but I'm kind of interested in PSJA.
Oh.
And here's why. They had such a great year last year with Trey Wahandle. He was recognized up and down the Rio Grande Valley, had great success, but now Trey's graduated. He's moved on to UTRGV. What is going to happen to those Bears now? Will they be able to maintain? Will they be able to raise that bar again? Lupe Rodriguez is a great coach, very familiar with the passing offense. He's from back in those years when Mission had those bumper stickers that every Mission Eagle fan had. Mission Eagle football, passing through your town soon. I don't remember the rap, but can you find it on YouTube?
Yeah.
All right, we got to look for that on YouTube. But the PSA Bears are the team that interests me because I want to see how they rebound. It was great because you had such a great core nucleus there. How are they going to be able to come together now that their main leader, Trey Wahandle, has stepped out? Will there be somebody else that can fill his shoes? And is it going to be something that will be close to what they managed to accomplish? So that's going to be one of the teams that I look for. Also, on the other end of the valley, Brownsville Veterans Memorial Chargers. Coach David Cantu, he seems to have that program click in every single year. Every single season, they seem to be on a great roll. Will they be able to maintain it? Because not a lot of people, look out. Not a lot of people are looking out to the Brownsville teams. They've got 5 or 6 different high schools within the Brownsville School District. So it's hard to pick one. But I'll tell you what they've managed to accomplish with the Chargers in the time that they've been around has been phenomenal. But of course, you've got Mark Guest, who was the athletic director. He stepped down and become the athletic coordinator at a high school. He's taken his teams. They've done very well at Brownsville Porter. So now you've got to wonder at Brownsville Pace. Now you've got to wonder about the success of these teams. So is there a team on the east side of the valley that stands out that you just kind of sit back and say, I want to see that team and where they can go?
Well, I look at it, I like Los Fresnos on that side. I know we're talking about Brownsville. David Cantu, by the way, let me say, best hair in the valley. David Cantu.
He's almost Joe Philo Delage.
Yeah.
Remember when Philo was on the sidelines and he had that Pat Ryan sleep back?
Great hair, but really great interview. But what he's done over there, consistently, they've been really good. Hannah, look, let's go through these. What I like what Brownsville did was they were firing coaches too quickly, too soon, for a long time, and they were giving them that 3-year bounce so you can, the first year you're going to institute your offense, right, defense, your mantra. Second year you're going to pay some dividends, and third year you're going to improve. They never gave them that chance. And what you've seen lately, Hannah, Lopez,
Brownsville
Vets, those teams have begun to excel. Now you like to see Rivetta and Porter get their chance. By the way, Porter, great story. That was featured all over ESPN. It was really a great story. If you haven't seen that one, go online. It's actually on our 956 Sports page, where we actually share ESPN story about what it's like to be a coach in Brownsville. And you know what? Anywhere in the Valley,
right,
but especially in Brownsville. Great story. Those guys, they're going through a lot over there, and just, you'd like to see a team like Rivetta and Porter rise up a little bit. By the way, let me just say this. Porter has a really tough game against Port Isabel this year to start the season. You'd like to see Porter win that game. I think they have a good chance, but PI is no slouch. Coach Strunk has got a good team over there.
They've got a great team year in, year out at Port Isabel. So it's going to be one of those different things that we're going to be talking about throughout the entire season. I mean, this is not going to be a flash in the pan, or maybe this Wednesday we'll do it, maybe next Wednesday we won't. We're going to be here every Wednesday night starting at 7 p.m., Area 956. You want to like this page. You want to follow this page if you're not already doing it, because of all the other content besides us that is on the page. So you want to check that out and become a part of the Area 956 family. But this is something that we've talked about. We said it'd be great if we could do a show, not going by the strict standards that television offers, not having the hard breaks that we had in radio, where we would have some great interviews and have to cut them off because we were up against a network push. This is just going to be very organic, very generic. Jake is carrying his Bible, his 956 football Bible. Thanks to Coach Tony for out there that put it together and really hustles. And then, of course, in a pinch, we always have Dave Campbell as well. This is going to be here as well, that we'll be able to talk about as the regular season progresses. But
yeah, and the guys at Area 956 are going to be going out and grabbing interviews with coaches, players, and it's going to be really nice, because back in the past, I had to front a lot of that talent. The talented guys here at Area 956, they're going to be going out and getting those interviews for us so that we can play it during the show and help educate ourselves, but also the fans that may not understand anything about Mission Vets football, right, or another team's football team.
And I'm sure on Friday nights, the Area 956 place is going to be where you want to come to get your scoring updates. You want to make sure that you're getting that most up-to-date information. You can find it here at Area 956, along with the other stuff that is featured and profiled on the page as well, representing the Rio Grande Valley.
And after this, we're actually going to have a little overtime session. Tony and I we're going to do picks for the entire valley, just so everybody can get them. You'll be able to pick that up right after this one. It'll be on our 956 Sports page, and you'll be able to get all our picks.
Not this quality. We're going off the phone, selfie stick type way, but we'll get that done. And
it's still going to look hot.
Still going to look hot. All right, we're going to wrap this one up. Thanks for joining us. The inaugural Before the Lights come up. It's Friday night. That's when it starts. School just got into session for most of the Valley on Monday. Their first game is Friday, and we're going to have the Wednesday ritual of Before the Lights. Before they kick on, you'll be able to get an update right here. Jake, thank you so much for your time. Thanks to Manny and the crew from that Area 956. Eddie in the back, who is making sure that we sound good. Because if we don't sound good, it's on our man Eddie. All right? That's how simple it is. He's not even paying attention to us. It's like having the guys from the radio station there. So check us out Wednesday night, 7 p.m. We're going to be here at Area 956. Thanks for joining us. And make sure you go back, watch the show, and more importantly, like the page. Follow the page, because that's the key thing that you want to do to stay up to date. Before the Lights, it's at UFC Gym just south of Nolana on McCall. Jake Berry, Tony Farina, thanks for joining us here on Area 956.